Aquarius, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Born Without Boundaries Tarot Astrology Motivation. In this video, we're going to review the major planetary aspects and transits and how it impacts your natal sun and what that means for your day-to-day. We're going to start off really broad, Aquarius, with those things that are going to impact everybody. And then we're going to go into more specifically Aquarius information that all of you guys should be aware of. And then I'll break it up into the decans, which is a group of 10 degrees in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And those, we divide it into 10 degrees because it's within a 10 degree difference of whether or not what aspect it's forming and how it's impacting your natal suns. So if you are an Aquarius who has your natal sun somewhere between 0 and 9 degrees, you are Aquarius 1. If you are Aquarius who has your natal sun somewhere between 10 and 19 degrees, you are Aquarius 2. And if you are an Aquarius who has your natal sun somewhere between 20 and 29 degrees, you are an Aquarius 3. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's okay, because all you really need to know is when your birthday is. I will give you the correlating birth dates for those different degrees. But the most accurate way is go grab yourself a natal chart. If you really love astrology, it's the first place to start anyway with your own natal chart. And they do that for free on the internet. You just search free natal chart and a ton of websites will pop up and you'll be able to just input your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location, and it'll generate a natal chart for you. So let's get into this, Aquarius. The big things. So this is for May 24th through 30th of 2023. And the big things that are happening are aspects. There's no major transits that are happening right now. Pluto is at the center of all of these aspects, though. So whatever it's impacting is going to have a permanent impact on it. Pluto creates changes that include destruction and resurrection. So think of the butterfly to the caterpillar. The caterpillar will never go back. The butterfly will never go back to being the caterpillar. These are permanent changes. They don't necessarily have to be bad changes. These are just changes that have to be made, and that's what Pluto does. It pushes everything forward. It also adds a depth and intensity to every situation, sometimes a richness, sometimes a darkness. Pluto is, and has been for the past couple of weeks, at least, especially last week, Pluto is square to Jupiter, opposite Mars, and Jupiter is square to Mars. So it's basically Pluto is at the pinnacle of a grand cross in the sky. There's Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, and they're forming a square with the south node, and Jupiter is conjunct the north node. So there is a sense of pushing forward relentlessly toward something brand new that needs almost like a roto-rooter to push through, because there is a huge clog here, and only Jupiter is what can permeate it. And that's what's getting unstopped now, is this huge clog. And now that Mercury is out of retrograde and it's gone direct, it's almost like we can experience a movement again. And with Pluto in retrograde, things are coming up and they're about to be delivered. So I don't know what this means in terms of the globe and the planet. I'm not here to predict, but in terms of you and how all of us will feel is enough is enough, done is done, and I'm going to move forward no matter what. So there is definite life changes and situational changes that are going to be happening to all of us. The sun is also trine to Pluto all week. So there is a comfort here with being brought to light, or having things brought to light, and having things be seen that have not been seen. An intensity to character, an intensity to life purpose, all of these things coming together this week. So it's a pretty intense week. That's the background of things, is intensity, moving forward, getting things done. Now for you guys in particular, you should be watching Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is your ruling dignitary, your modern ruler, and Saturn is your traditional ruler. So it's really important for you guys to always pay attention to what's interacting with those things and how it's actually interacting with specifically your natal suns. So Saturn is and has been for a while sextile to the north node, trine to the south node. It is this week up until the 26th. It is sextile to Mercury. It is square the sun and quincunx Venus. This is definitely kind of working through different kinds of butting heads or egotistical issues when it comes to, are people treating me the way that I want to be treated? Am I being valued the way that I want to be valued? Or is somebody feeling, excuse me, I'm sorry about that I am not valuing them? Those kind of power struggles, especially with this, says a square to Venus. And then we have Uranus, and Uranus is between 19 and 20 degrees Taurus this week. It is sextile to Venus, which means it's almost like welcoming in, there's different changes that are going on. There's opportunities to change through weird things, through wonderful things, through unusual things, and maybe deciding to innovate or want to step outside of the box of your comfort zone this week, especially when it comes to what you find valuable or who finds you valuable, what you're attracted to, or what you find, what you're attracted to, I would think. So there could be these weird and wonderful opportunities this week for all of you. Now let's get into the decans. Now, if you have a natal sun Aquarius between 0 and 9 degrees Aquarius, your birthdays are most likely January Aquarians. So between, say, the 22nd and the 30th of January, or 30th, 31st of January, you guys are January Aquarians. That's an estimate, but it's you that is it's your natal suns that are conjunct to Pluto. So this is, you guys are experiencing major life changes, especially when it comes to social structure, social status, what you want to be to society, what you want to see in society. Different kinds of political or social views can be arising in you at this point. You're changing. You're becoming a more mature version of yourself, which also puts you right in the center of everything, because it means that for the next 2 weeks, actually through June 15th, your natal suns are going to be square to Jupiter, and through this week, they're also opposite Mars. So this is an intense week of intensified change and a more rapid, relentless push toward the new, something different, something, not just something different though, the becoming of who you are, the traveling on your journey to a new stage in your life, a huge push toward your future, if you will. This week, your natal suns are trine to the sun, so there is a confidence and a charisma about you that will not only get attention, but also feel good with who you are and about who you are. And there is a long-term sextile to Neptune, which means extraordinary creativity and creative opportunities. So honestly, this is kind of expanding into who you are making yourself to be instead of who the world made you. And this is huge life leaps forward for this next year. This week in particular, though, you will definitely feel that confidence that comes from that trine to the current sun. That'll give you a nice boost and a lot of clarity, I think, in terms of your purpose and what's most important to you. Aquarius 2s. So your natal suns are somewhere between 10 and 19 degrees Aquarius. Generally speaking, that's the first 10 days of February. Say from the 1st to the 10th or the 1st to the 9th, in and around there. Your natal suns are in a long-term sextile to Chiron and square to Uranus. So, but okay, so those of you, because of where Uranus is located now, between 19 and 20 degrees Taurus, it's only those of you who are born maybe the 9th or 10th of February that are really going to be experiencing that square to Uranus anymore. The rest of you are pretty much, the rest of you are kind of pretty much, pretty much clear of it. But this week, the long-term sextile to Chiron is continuing. It will continue for another year or so, or maybe the rest of this year. The long-term sextile to Chiron is about finding purpose in your pain, taking your suffering and turning it into inspiration to change or to do something new with it, finding purpose from your pain. Right now, Chiron is square to Mars, which means there's more intensity here, more physicality here, more opportunity or drive to get behind and actually push and work harder, do more. Just don't push yourself too much, because Chiron square to Mars could actually really be very painful physically. So just don't push yourself too hard this week. But there's also a square to Mercury this week for your natal suns. So that's like your own mini Mercury retrograde. I know we just went through it, but you'll start to see old conversations coming up, old people visiting from the past, different kinds of technological failures or miscommunications going on. This is going to stir you up. Another thing, in other words, in total, Aquarius 2s, what this week is trying to do is frustrate the crap out of you to push you forward. That's exactly what's going to be happening all week long. FYI. Aquarius 3s. So this is those Aquarians whose natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Aquarius. Generally speaking, from the 10th through the 21st, or the 11th through the 21st of, the 10th through the 19th or 20th of February. So right up into sort of Pisces cusps. Your natal suns are sextile to Jupiter if you're at the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. Your natal suns are still sextile to Jupiter. This is a beautiful position that I think is intensified by Jupiter's position right now. Relentless success and opportunity. That's really going to help you out long term. You're also square to Uranus, which means feeling uncomfortable beneath your skin because you want to try different things. Old things aren't interesting you. Weird and wonderful things are distracting you, or curveballs keep getting thrown your way without you knowing what the heck is happening or where they're coming from. That's for the next year. And then we have this week a quincunx to Venus, which is stimulation and frustration through maybe your banking account, or just the things that you value, the things that you want to spend your money on, the things that you're attracted to, frustrating you. And I think that I wrote this down. I said there might be some sort of wandering eye kind of discomfort. Put into situations you're not happy about or comfortable with could put strains on relationship, but just for this week, because Venus moves pretty quickly. So just be aware of that. So Aquarius, let me know how this energy is impacting your life. I love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. It really, really helps the channel grow. And then do join me for your week ahead tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. Guys, I'll see you next week. Bye, Aquarius.